Good morning, students. Today we will take first lesson of the geography, that is known as resources and the development. So resources, nature has provided us various things like forest, like minerals, water, wind. These are known as resources. Resources are the things which we can uh, use for our daily use or which are useful for us, like forest. The wood can be used to, can be changed into the paper, and paper is used as newsprint or the books which you have or the writing material. So anything which is available in nature and which we can use for our own benefit is called resources. Resources should be economically feasible. They should be culturally acceptable. Means different, different continents are there, different countries are there, and they have their own culture. So it should be acceptable to the culture of that country. So that is called um, resource. Now we can divide the resources into the two parts: natural resources and the human resources. So you can see that the things which are provided by the nature, as I told you earlier, are called the natural resources. On the other hand, there are things which are made by men. For example, cars are there, or trains are there, or building materials are there, steel is there. So which is used to um, that that is they are made by human beings. So this is why they are called human-made resources. Now, for the purpose of study, we can classify resources further. For example, on the basis of their origin, the resources can be classified into the biotic and the abiotic resources. Simply you say biotic means the living material, living things including human beings, animals, forest, the biotic resources. And then we can classify them into the abiotic resources, non-living things like rocks, like minerals. So we term them as abiotic resources, non-living resources. We can classify the resources on the basis of ownership. If the resources are owned by individual, like you may have your own house, you may have your cycle, you may have your laptop or smartphone. So that is individual resources. Individual resources nobody else can claim. Similarly, the resources which are owned by community, like a temple or maybe school or grazing grounds or your playgrounds, they are called owned by community. So you can call them community resources. Then comes to national resources and international resources. Resources which come in the boundary of within the boundary of the country called the national resources. So anything which is there within the boundary of the country is called the national resources. It is mountains, rivers, ponds, lakes, minerals. They all are called national resources. Even the area which is close to the coast, it is close to 12 nautical miles. Nautical mile is a unit by which you calculate the distance in sea. So up to 12 nautical miles, the countries, those who have coastline, they can claim that they are the national resources. Now come to the international resources. The resources which are owned, like open sky, like the sea, which is beyond 200 nautical miles. So you call them sky, um, the oceans, or anything which is shared with, like there are some continents which are inhabited, which where no human being is living, like Greenland, like Antarctica, or Arctic regions. So you can call them as a international resources. Now let us divide the resources on the basis of their development. On the basis of development, we divide them into the potential resources, developed resources, stock, and the reserves. So anything which is having potential for our own use is called natural resource, potential resource. Now, like in our country, there are the areas where a lot of sunshine is there, so they can use for their can use it as a area to generate solar energy, produce solar energy. Or coastal areas are there where the speed of wind is very high, so that region can be used to develop wind resources. Now, how much we have developed these resources, it is up to the country as well as up to our resources which we have. Then we divide the resources into the second one in this is developed resources. The resources which are already developed, and so we call them developed resources. Like we generate electricity by different means from the fossil fuels or from the water, ideally you call. So it is developed resources. Now come to the stocks as well as reserves. So the different countries, they keep certain things as a stock, and the reserves, like we have the technology but we don't use them. For example, there are the rivers which can be harnessed to generate electricity. Suppose we are not using them. The forests are there, which can be used for different purposes, but we keep them as a reserve. We don't use them. So the different ways by which resources can be classified, and they are the things which are very useful to us. So developing these resources is a very important thing. Development of the resources, which should be for our present generation, as well as we keep future generation in our mind. So students, with this we conclude the lesson. Now you are supposed to read the lesson. Please keep on making your notes and try to learn a few question answers as well. Till then, thank you.